Welcome back to the 2023 OHL Priority Selection presented by Real Canadian Superstore. I'm Terry Doyle with Mark McKelvey, and Blake Callaghan joins us now, another member of the OHL Central Scouting Team. And Blake, first of all, what area do you cover, and how long has it been now since around the OHL?
I coach. I scout in the Ottawa area. HEO it's now called. I started with the Barrie Colts in '99 and was with them for 9 years and took a year off, and I've been with Central Scouting since then.
So little connections with Daryl Woodley. I'm sure you two have
absolutely
exchanged a couple laughs over the years.
For sure. Daryl's a great guy.
And take me through now, how do you enjoy the whole Central Scouting, getting a chance to see the players and obviously interact with the entire Central Scouting team?
It's actually great. It's a lot different than working for a team. Like when you work for a team, you kind of have to keep your mouth shut, and you're not allowed to talk about who you like. And
that
who
had to
you
be
don't
tough
like.
for you.
It wasn't easy, but now, I mean, you get paid for my opinion, right? And if a scout wants to talk to me or parents want to talk to me, I can say what I think about a kid, and some people believe me and some people don't, right? So it works out really well.
Well, what's unique about the area that you do cover is that a lot of these players actually play with players older than them, the U18. Talk a bit about that and how that's been going over the last several years.
Yeah, it's been going now for 8 years. It's some top end kids over the 8 years that went really well and have played really, really well. It's actually not bad at all for the kids playing against the older guys. It's a little tough sometimes to watch because there's 12 teams because it matches up with the Central League. So the quality hockey can be all right? It's not as, I think next year, because it's coming back, U16's coming back, I think it's going to be really, really good. It'll be good for the kids. I mean, it's like anything else. Nothing's perfect, right? So there's going to be pluses and minuses with both leagues, but from a pure scouting point of view, the way it was organized is I saw every team probably 15 to 20 times because they play every Monday night. So I can go out at 4 o'clock, come home at 10, and I've seen sometimes 10 teams, sometimes 12.
Well, that's not too bad for what you need to do.
No, for what we need to do, the scouts, actually, that part of it is actually great. And there's some absolutely great hockey players up there. There always has been. But now that U18 is gone and U16 is coming back, I think it'll be really good.
I was going to ask you that. I'm sure now kind of being able to do apples to apples a little bit, be seeing the players play with their own age group where, indeed, when you're playing U18 as a 16-year-old probably makes it a bit more of a challenge from that standpoint, playing with the older players, but now you get a chance to see them line up within their own age group. I'm sure that's going to be very interesting next year.
Yeah, and it'll really help. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little more expensive for the parents, but they'll go to 4 or 5 tournaments a year, and then, as you well know, like we call it crossovers, right? So we'll get to see them other scouts get to see them at tournaments and stuff. So it'll be really, really good for the kids.
And for those players, though, you mentioned the top end players that you've scouted over your time involved in this. They always seem the cream rises to the top, and you mentioned about the players that maybe had to play some older against older competition.
Yep.
The top end guys, they shine still no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. Like Mason McTavish, I mean, just a phenomenal hockey player, and I mean, he was a great hockey player from when he was 13 years old. He had a pro shot, right? And I mean, he was a great hockey player. Right, and you're right. Those guys, cream rises to the top, right? So,
got to think over the years. I'm thinking of a Ryan Spooner, the good Branson brothers. I'm sure it's been very interesting talents, and some special families as well. You've got a chance to get to know them a little bit. I'm sure it's been very interesting to follow their careers from a 15-year-old situation right through, in some cases, right through to the National Hockey League.
Yeah, no, it is, and I mean, Ottawa is a large enough city, but it's actually a small town. And people get along really, really well, and you really know an awful lot of people. And hockey's a very small world, right? So, yeah, you get to see an awful lot of people and talk to them. It's great going to the rink every day and watching hockey. keeps an old man like me young, right?
I remember back in the days with like a Spooner and a Branson. I believe you can feel free to correct me. I believe we had like a junior 67s and a junior Senators back then, and those
Yes.
guys. I'm sure those were quite the little rivalries going on because players were on those teams.
Yeah, it was. It really, really was. The junior 67s and the Senators, which I actually worked for 15 years as the technical director. It was really, really good hockey and lots of fun. Five teams, 5 associations. It can get a little combative, right? Because you see each other so often, and they're playing hockey so often against the same guys all the time. And it starts, right, like at 12 years old and works its way up to 15 or 16. So there's a little animosity every once in a while.
Well, that's not too bad sometimes, though.
No, it's not. It's absolutely great.
Good friendly rivalries going on there. As you've seen players going back to say 99 and the late 90s to now, and I'm sure you've seen the game evolve and these players evolve. Where before back to like a 99 type of area where maybe it was that big physical power forward. Now, can you skate? Can you skate? Can you skate? And I'm sure that's one of the things where we saw probably at the start of your scouting time where it was, hey, this big guy can stand in front of the net and score goals, go for it. Now it's those other tools they need so much more.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, that's the first thing most scouts have to look at is, can he skate? Then the next one is his hockey IQ good enough that he can play in our league with the quality of skating, right? And hockey IQ is absolutely huge, right? And the higher up you go, the more you need it, right? So.
Absolutely. And now looking at this year's priority selection, any notable names that stood out to you from your area and that were picked here over the last, I guess now almost 2 days?
Yeah, the defenseman from the PM, Quinn. Absolutely brilliant skater. Like it's effortless, and he's going to be a really good offensive defenseman in our league. And I think he's going to grow. I think he's 5'11", almost 6 feet, but his father's 6'3" plus, so he's got a good chance of being bigger. So he should be. I think he'll end up being a really good, solid defenseman too. But he'll run the power play soon. Not next year, but probably the year after.
Very interesting to see these players win. Blake, good to see you as always.
Well, thank you
it's
very
good
much.
to see you in person this year. Then, of course, we had to. Everybody had to pivot a little bit over the last couple of years, but good to see you and the rest of the team from Central Scouting here in person. We'll let you get back upstairs with them because I'm sure they want to critique your performance here on the desk.
They probably do. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Blake Callaghan joining us here from OHL Central Scouting. Joel Wood.